Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode here on the Cycling Dane podcast or on the Cycling Dane Extra channel if you're watching there. Today, I'm delighted to be joined yet again by the cycling legend and one of my heroes, Jens Voigt. And today, we're going to be talking about the Tour de France and look ahead to the 2025 Tour as well. But I mean, Jens, great to have you here again. And the interview was very, very good. But the Tour de France, your experience, 17 editions, winning 2 stages, and being part of a Tour de France winning team. You've done it all basically in the Tour. What makes the Tour the biggest race in the cycling world?
Like it or not, it is the biggest race. You know, the season goes like this: before the Tour, and after the Tour. That's how the season is organized by basically every single team. As I say, like it or not, that's just the way it is. It is the biggest stage. It is the moment for everyone to, become a superstar, become a superhero, become a team leader, team captain, or become a failure in the eyes of the public. There's also a certain or like a large amount of pressure on everyone. The Tour is the most important race. It's the most beautiful race. I mean, they worked 100 years or 120 years almost now to get to that status. So I believe also it's well deserved.
Is it the hardest race though? Well, you can say that better than anyone, but that everything gets a bit tighter. Everyone goes for spaces a bit more risky spaces. Everyone puts that extra 10% in on every stage.
The Tour, in terms of numbers and profile, it is not always the hardest of the 3 Grand Tours. Often the Giro d'Italia or the Vuelta has more hilltop finishes, more climbing, more altitude meters. Also in terms of distance, it is not always the longest of all of them. For example, this year, the Giro d'Italia was so heavy loaded towards the last week. The Tour de France, it's nicely balanced. It's a good mix between sprinter days, medium mountain days for breakaways, and really killer mountain days. What makes it so different is that in the Giro d'Italia, for example, 4 riders want to win and maybe 12 want to be top 10. And in the Tour de France, 10 riders want to win, 30 riders want to be top 10, and every single starter wants to win at least a stage. That makes it so much harder. The average speed is harder. Every square meter is harder fought for by every single rider. The Grande Finale these days starts at 100 kilometers to the finish line. Basically, a normal Tour de France stage is full gas start for the breakaway, 10 minutes where everybody can eat and drink and quickly talk. Hey, how was your day yesterday? How was your day tomorrow? And then bang, the GC team start chasing ready to break away. And it's another GC day or a sprinter day. That's a normal Tour de France stage. The way you have an hour of nothing happens. No, that doesn't happen anymore. So it's just much more intense. Also, what you see on a typical tour stage is full gas start. And then as soon as the race gets organized and teams start chasing, it is the team of the yellow jersey, all 8 of them together. The team of the second place in GC, all 8 behind the first team. Team number 3 behind them, and so on and so on. These kids hardly talk anymore these days. It's just all focused. And your radio, you hear, eat and drink, spin your legs. Don't forget to eat and drink, spin your legs. Come back for fresh water. Come back for ice bags for your neck. It's never easy. It's never relaxed. That's what makes the Tour de France so incredibly hard. Then you have, remember, to keep... this year we are up to 23 teams, right? That is 23 by 8. Help me quickly. It's 160 plus 168, 174, 182 riders. It's 182 riders. To keep 182 riders on the road, the Tour de France asked for, I believe it is 3,500 beds per night. Sleeping places with journalists, team members, press officers, team doctors, TV journalists, everybody, and what people putting up the barriers every morning and building them back down every night. I believe it's 3,500 people, all of it. So it's a massive undertaking, bigger than anything else. Prize money is bigger, pressure is bigger, everything is bigger at the Tour de France. Or for people, they are not so familiar with cycling or with professional cycling, Here's a very good example. Now we just had the Dauphiné finished, right? And the Dauphiné Libéré in France, it's one of the classic preparation races for the Tour de France because they often use parts of Tour de France stages. That's why people come there to see some of the Tour de France stages, right? So let's say Pogacar and Vingegaard going together towards any given village in the Dauphiné, and they come to a corner. You look at each other and go, hey, you know what? Why don't you go ahead? I start the Tour de France in 3 weeks' time and 2 weeks' time. I don't want to crash. And the other one goes, no, why don't you go ahead? I'm relaxed. I start the Tour de France in 2 weeks and I want to be ready. 2 weeks later, in the Tour de France, the same two riders, let's say Pogacar and Vingegaard, come together to that same corner. And they both will say, hey, if you don't brake, we both gonna crash because I ain't braking. And the other one is gonna say, if you don't brake, we both gonna crash because I am not gonna brake. This is the Tour. So that is the difference, that people are just that a little more desperate and determined than in any other race.
Well, we might as well look towards 2025, if you kind of alluded to it. What do you think of the route of this year's Tour? The first week is, well, you could almost say classics focus with starting in Lille. And there's 2 time trials in there, one flat, one up the Périgord, and Mont Ventoux returns as well.
Well, also another fact, this year's Tour de France is 100% on French soil. We haven't had that for a while, I believe. We do not visit Switzerland or Belgium or Luxembourg or Spain or Andorra. None of it. It's 100% in France. It doesn't start with a TT or prologue, just the first stage, bang. And since it starts up north around Dunkirk, it's windy and it's a little bit undulating. What the Tour de France does, again, like it or not, they like to have a little twist within each stage. It's either wind or a stupid tricky little hill in the last, 5 or 10 kilometers, or a little bit of cobblestone, or they go across this piece of road where it's only twice a day dry and the rest of the day it's underwater because of the tide coming in and out. We had that a few times in the Tour de France. So they like their challenges. First stage, Lille Metropole, that should be finishing crashes and wind apart. It should be a massive bunch kick. But then already the next one, Boulogne-sur-Mer, that's famous from 40s of Dunkirk because it got a little uphill sprint. So not every sprinter will be there. Stage 3, finishing in Dunkirk, there is the last, I believe, 30 or 32 kilometers open. As soon as you pass Eastberg, there's a little hill, perfect launching pad, and then it's exposed to wind after that. So that is tricky and nerve-wracking. So for the GC riders, every single day in the first week, they got to be alert to the max to not lose time. They cannot gain much time there, but they can lose so much time with a crash, getting caught in the crosswinds, or somebody else crashes in front of you and you be blocked behind it. You don't even have to hit the ground. But if somebody crashes in front of you, the road is blocked, the race is gone. Then we have stage 6, Bayeux via Normandy. That is a lot more hilly than people think. If you add the altitude together, it's almost like a mountain stage. Then you have the stage 7, Mur de Bretagne. We do it twice. The nerve-wracking moment to get into the Mur de Bretagne, because the Mur de Bretagne is actually not much wider than our screen on our laptops. Honestly, it's like 2, maybe 3 riders next to each other maximum if they out of the seat, So to place their GC rider or whatever, to place Mathieu van der Poel in a good position, that will be so much drama and stress before that actually it might be much more interesting to see the first time up the Mur de Bretagne than the proper finish. Because there might be only 25 riders left at the finish line. It's the fight to get there in the first place. So it will be nerve-wracking and it will be stressful for everyone. I like that this year also they do a little bit of a memorial tour. So when we pass to, now where is it? Rouen. There, stage number 4. Rouen, isn't it the birthplace of,
Jeanne d'Arc?
No, Jacques Anquetil?
Oh, okay, it might be as well, yeah.
Yeah. And then via Normandy, stage 6, I believe, we pass at the memorial statue of the first Tour de France winner after World War II. And we passed some historic moments where Greg LeMond laid the base of his future win in the Tour de France. First American to win a stage in the Tour, take the jersey and win the Tour de France. First non-European rider, Greg LeMond. We passed some historic battlegrounds where Laurent Fignon had great success. So there's a few moments like that. What I like, but nothing really connected to cycling, I like to start in Saint-Malo, because Saint-Malo is the birth and living place of Robert Surcouf, basically the Francis Drake of France, like a famous sailor, explorer, pirate as well, served a little bit under Napoleon, really successful, did break the British Sea blockade, did break through there a few times, like a really gifted sailor. So I like that, a bit of pirate feeling in the Tour de France with the start in Saint-Malo. So yeah, the Tour has it all. We don't have a team time trial, but we had the comeback of mountain top uphill time trial, whatever you call that in correct English. And that's pretty brutal. 2 kilometers flat in a valley, maybe 3, and then bang, straight uphill. Perfect place to actually for every single spectator, because these riders come by almost at walking speed, one by one, with a large sign with their name and number on the follow-up card. Like a really big sign with the name of the rider and his number. So even if you're not a complete expert and they wear the skin suit and the visor and the helmets, you know exactly who was actually coming past, because there's a huge name on the car behind that rider. So perfect place for every single spectator.
What do you think of Mont Ventoux then? Because the last time we had Mont Ventoux was the first battle between Jonas Vingegaard and Tadej Pogacar, really. They did it twice there. Wout van Aert took the win, but here it's nothing and then just up Mont Ventoux.
Yeah, that is basically the first 2/3 of the stage is plain transport from A to B. But then again, it starts to be nervous and stressful for the placing to go into the climb. Mont Ventoux is steep at the bottom in the forest. It's stinky hot because it's covered in the forest. By the time the riders get there, the sun will be burning vertically back on their backs of the riders. Not a little breeze of wind in that forest. It's stinking hot and terrible. So it's important to be well placed, that you can negotiate your effort a little bit. If you feel good, you can attack. If you don't feel good, you can slowly drift back a little bit and hope you survive until you actually find your legs again. So placing and positioning is so important there. And then the second half is, it looks like you're on the moon. You know, it's just rocks. You're above the tree line, exposed to the wind. Everybody remembers when we had to cancel the stage in the Tour de France because there was so much wind up there that they had to cancel the stage and lower the finish line by like 10, 15 kilometers. There's images of people standing, holding their bike on the handlebars, and the bike is basically horizontal, flying in the wind. That is how much wind there can be up there. The view up there is priceless because it is not in the Alps. It's on the outside, so you can see the Alps on one side, and I swear, you can almost see half of France on the other side. On a clear day, you can look up to 80 kilometers. If the air is clear, there's no clouds. It is really worth going up there. But, my friends, there's a reason why it's called Le Géant de Provence, the giant of the Provence, because it's fucking hard. It is a long, long ass climb. It's, 18 kilometers or 21 from the one side and 18 and a half from the other side. It is a hard piece of work to get up there.
There's a lot of big stages as well in that final third week. And yeah, you talk about the Giro, very heavy at the back, but which stages are you kind of looking out for? We got La Planche in there as well, not La Planche de Belfi, but La Plagne. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. And
well, back to the Mont Ventoux quickly. I believe it will be a GC day. The yellow jersey, whoever it is, will win there. It's prestigious in yellow winning on Mont Ventoux. The stage is not too long, so I believe really it is a day for the GC leader. They want to control it and they want to keep it together. The stage is 172 kilometers long, and yeah, I believe the yellow jersey wants to win there. There's one. Which one is it? La Plagne, you meant?
yeah, stage 18 and then 19. quite a combination.
Yep. So stage 19, it's only 130 kilometers long. It's 5 KOMs, and the added climbing kilometers, just with categorized climbs, it is 62 kilometers uphill. 62 kilometers uphill. That is basically from Copenhagen to Malmö. Just all uphill, 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 uphill. That is a hard stage. And it's a slightly uphill start, and only 7 kilometers after the start, you will enter the first big mountain pass. It's one of these days where you will see the entire peloton warming up the home trainers because they'll be terrified of that day. Stage 20 to Pontarlier, that's 185 kilometers long. It's in the Jura, the fourth mountain chain. So they go Massif Central, Pyrenees, the Alps, and the Jura region. They don't do the Alsace or Alsace, like close to the French-German border. They don't do it this time. So 4 mountain change. That's a pretty tough one, but classic for breakaways. And what I like about stage 20, Pontarlier is the unofficial capital of the famous absinthe liqueur. So whenever you win, you might have an absinthe to celebrate. And if you don't win, you might just drink 10 of them to actually forget the misery that the last stage for the breakaway before Paris, you actually didn't win. So, but there's another stage I like a lot. Stage 18, Courchevel, Col de la Losse, 171 kilometers long, 5,500 meters of climbing. Toughest stage in terms of climbing. We go Col de Glandon, Col de Madeleine, and Col de la Losse with 2,300 meters altitude. So almost 3 times, close to 2,000 or above. It is every 12 kilometers it goes uphill. There's like a number, like 12, 13, or 11 kilometers, it's uphill. So it's basically like shark teeth. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's a super hard one. And if you in the yellow jersey, you really have to have a good team around you because you cannot control it by yourself. And if you're 2, 3 riders down, it might be a really golden opportunity for everybody else to attack you because you need your team to help you to control that day because everybody who has a little bit left in the gas tank will attack you for the stage, for the mountain jersey, for the yellow jersey, for the white jersey, for the team competition. There will be hell on earth on that day, I expect. So the yellow jersey can only hope he got his entire team still functioning and around him. And then let's finish the Tour de France. I mean, we can talk about it more. Champs-Élysées stage. No, it's not anymore. They changed it. And I mean, in my humble opinion, it's a mistake. There's no need to do it like that. They can go up that wonderful climb to Sacré-Cœur or Montmartre. Let's start out of Paris, go easy into Paris, drive through the Louvre like always, go up at a relatively neutral speed at Montmartre, go down and then Champs-Élysées, bang, and race the Champs-Élysées. So now when you want to go through that Louvre, but everybody knows 5 kilometers down the road, we got to go up Montmartre. The road is that small. They're going to race with 60 kilometers an hour through the Louvre. There's cobblestones, there's like little driveways and footpasses. How the hell do you want to organize that? So I don't think it's necessary. The tour is hard enough. You don't need to add more drama on the last day. If you want to have beautiful TV pictures, do it early in the race. People go neutral. They can smile. They can enjoy the view to Montmartre. But don't do it in a race like in the final because it's another GC day. So I don't see the big typical sprinters. I don't see them surviving it. I mean, just remember the Olympics. There were not much sprinters left there. So I don't know. I think it's too hard. The race is hard enough. It's 3 weeks of intense racing. But again, just my private thought. Here's how it happened. Mr. Emmanuel Macron called Prudhomme, the Tour de France, and said, "Hey, Emmanuel, listen, I like the pictures at the Olympics with everybody in the Olympic roadways going up the Montmartre. It shows the best side of our French nation. I want this in the tour." And then the Tour de France director, Prudhomme, goes, Oui, monsieur. Oui, chef. Oui, chef. What can you do? If your president calls you, you go, yes, chef. Of course we do that. I honestly, in my private opinion, I don't think it was the first option, the first choice of Christian Prudhomme and the ASO. But if the president wants these road, then what can you do? Because Tour de France still gets a lot of tax money in support as well, right? So, yeah, you got to make the big boss happy.
Yeah, you are right, though. We're not going to see, if it's close between, let's say, Jonas Vingegaard and Tadej Pogacar, if there's a minute, like, none of them are going to be relaxing and champagne before the stage.
Yep.
You're right.
Yep.
It's a GC day.
And to make it even worse, the last stage finishes, if Paris is here, the last stage finishes like out of our screen on the fucking Swiss border at 4 p.m., at 5 p.m. And they got to cover 500 kilometers to be next day in Paris to be racing. And no, it's not relaxed and burgers at night and pizza at night because the next day is relaxed sprinter day. No. It's another big GC day in Paris. So that adds so much more stress. They gotta eat healthy, drink their water bottles and whatever, have a flight transfer at night or early morning. It adds so much extra stress. I don't see it being necessary. A few interesting facts about this year's Tour de France. It's the 50th anniversary of the Tour finish on the Champs-Élysées in Paris. 50 years from this year on. It is also the 50th anniversary for the polka dot jersey for the best climber and the white jersey for the best neo-professional or young professional. 50 years. The first Tour de France winner after the World War II is Jean Roby, and we passed his statue in Normandy. The birthplace of Jacques Anquetil, yes, is Rouen. Total distance 3,320 kilometers, 4 mountain regions, Massif Central, followed by the Pyrenees, followed by the Alps and the Jura region. 7 flat stages, 6 mountain stages, with 5 mountaintop finishes and 6 hilly stages, plus the 2 time trials. We have a total of 51,550 vertical meters, which is more or less like they do almost every year. But it is a lot. It is a lot. Just remember, the highest mountain on Earth, the Mount Everest, is 8,800. Is it 84 or 48 in the end? I always mix that up. But I believe it's 8,800.
48, yeah, I think you're right.
48, yeah, 48. So they go up that, 5 times, 6 times almost. So yeah, that is a lot of climbing already. And I can't wait. And I also believe we might see a more exciting Tour de France because I don't think Pogacar is that dominant like the other years. Jonas's crash was way earlier this year, so he had more time to recover and be ready. Remco, after last year's third place Tour de France, he became double Olympic champion, so he will be motivated. He will be ready. He will be also full of confidence. We got a new player with Lipovic. Roglic maybe might want to have one very last go at it. Ben O'Connor as an outside dark horse. So there's more than one contender, and every series has to come to an end. And Tadej winning 2 years or last year winning so dominantly, I don't see it being that easy for him this year. I think the Tour will be much more thrilling and exciting than we actually expected to be in the moment.
What do you think of Lipovic? You're German, he's German. We've been missing a German at the top echelon of the sport for a few years.
Yes, we did. We had a few promising talents, but none ever came up to really that level. I mean, you got to be a special breed to be able to be top 3, even top 6, top 5 in the Tour de France. There is not many people on the planet who has the physical ability to actually do that. So, and I'm not sure what Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe wants to do. If they want him to be the first lieutenant for Roglic, or if they go, you know what, we just go all in and you do whatever you want. We back you up, Florian Lipovic. If you finish 3rd, 4th, we're happy. If you break down the middle of it, you finish 14th, we are still happy. Just go and explore yourself because he's young. He also comes from a ski sport. He did a biathlon before. So who knows where the limit is for him? Maybe you give him a blanco check, like a carte blanche, and go, you know what? Just go and explore yourself. Whatever comes out of it, we will be happy with that. But then again, it's the Tour de France. Nobody does experiments at the Tour de France. You can do that in Giro d'Italia or maybe the Vuelta, but the Tour de France, it's too important. So I wonder if they go in there with Roglic and Lipowitz as leaders, we will have the answer soon.
I mean, Roglic hasn't finished the Tour de France since 2020.
I know. But then again, also, that series has to come to an end. I mean, he cannot crash out every single time or become sick or whatever. But while the Giro, same story, crashed 4 times, of course, you go, you know what? I had enough. I mean, it's a tragedy almost. Roglic is such an accomplished rider. He won every bigger race on the planet except the Tour de France. I mean, the Vuelta he won 4 times now, I believe. The Giro d'Italia, he won the Tour of the Basque Country and whatnot. He won a lot of big races. Liège, Bastogne, Liège. Just the Tour de France is always escaping him. So yeah, it would be.
And Tour of Denmark.
Yeah, that's a big race as well. Correct. That is a big race as well. Well, he maybe need to focus on that. Forget about the Tour de France. Go to Denmark instead.
Yeah, no, apparently you have to be Belgian to win that race in the last few years. So, I mean, Jens, we talked about the route, and we have this fascinating situation that we've kind of alluded to with Jonas Vingegaard and Tadej Pogacar looking so dominant, and obviously they duked it out at the Criterium du Dauphiné. But I feel like you were almost in this position in 2010 that you are against this all-conquering rider, Alberto Contador, but you guys had the strongest team.
Well, both teams have a big budget. UAE, I believe, biggest budget of all of the teams. So they have quite the resources to not only prepare the races in the most perfect way, but also buy really good riders. So with Ayuso or Adam Yates as a domestique, I mean, really, that is actually quite some serious quality. Jonas is having a good team as well. So I believe in terms of teams, it's more or less balanced. If Wout van Aert is in good shape, he is back at the Tour de France. He is a really important asset for the more flat stages or medium mountain stages for positioning Jonas, protecting Jonas from any sort of stress. He could be really playing a crucial role there. If he is in good shape, he is better than anybody else in Tadej Pogacar's team for the same role, right? And don't forget, we mentioned it before, he did win the stage or the Mont Ventoux before. So if it comes to it, he can climb pretty well also. So he is maybe a key factor in Jonas Vingegaard's try to win the Tour de France, to have Wout van Aert in good shape on his side. But then again, it adds another luxury problem. Wout van Aert, it's not Joe Average. He likes to help, but he also wants to have at least one day for himself to win a Tour de France stage for himself. I mean, he is one of the 5 superstars of our sport, or maybe it's 6 now with Mats Pedersen winning all the time as well. He is also one of the superstars of our sport now. So it's Jonas, it's Pogacar, it's Remco Evenepoel for the GC, and Mathieu van der Poel, Wout van Aert, Mats Pedersen for the one-day races or stages. So if you have Wout van Aert in a team, that gives you a lot of horsepower extra, but also the guy is a winner, the guy is a champion. He wants to win one day as well. So how do you make everybody happy? That is maybe a challenging problem as well. When Pogacar is at a race, it is Pogacar or nobody. He is the captain, and there's not even a question about it. Like things like at the Giro d'Italia, are they going to go for Adam Yates? Maybe Ayuso, Isaac Del Toro, or Brandon McNulty? That question does just not exist when Pogacar is at a race. It's Pogacar and nothing else. That makes it very clear and simple for them. They don't have a sprinter. They don't try for anything but yellow jersey with Tadej. So that's very clear and easy for them. But then again, I rather have Wout van Aert on my side, but have the, in quotation marks, complicated problem to make him happy, to give him a stage one day. So I believe there's a slight advantage for Visma Lease bike here.
Do you think UAE are stronger in the climbing? We saw it last year that they kind of isolated Jonas quite a lot, and Almeida, very strong, finished 4th. Yates was used a number of times as a very good tactical pawn. And Visma, they have Matteo Jorgensen, Sepp Kuss. That's kind of their lead support in the climbs. But even there, I feel like maybe UAE are stronger.
Yes, I mean, we have seen other parts where Tadej was sometimes earlier years, relatively early, isolated in the big mountains. He had to do a lot by himself. That is different now. He got a strong line of riders helping him to win the tour or to win any given GC. Sepp Kuss had his prime when he did all 3 Grand Tours 1 year and ended up winning the Vuelta a España. He is still a very solid rider, but maybe he's missing 1 or 2% of his best shape. Jorgensen is taking over. Matteo Jorgensen is super strong. He is a really good, solid rider. So I believe they can count on him. No, I don't think there's too much of difference. And you know, by the end of the day, it is just cycling. It's on rocket science. You got to cross the white line first, and then you win. So even if Tadej Pogacar has still 5 riders left, Jonas sits on the wheel and beats Tadej on the line, then Jonas will win the Tour de France. Even though he is, for the last 5 kilometers by himself. He just needs to be stronger than Tadej Pogacar. Either on the flats, in the time trials, uphill or flat time trial, or on a mountain. At one certain moment, you got to be stronger than your opponent to gain time. So the team is important to defend it or prepare your attack. But you can take the jersey without a team. You cannot really defend it without a team. But to take a stage, to take the yellow jersey, you follow the best rider and beat him at the end. It's pretty simple sometimes. I mean, in theory, you know.
What would you do to try and catch out Tadej? You were talking about in Lille, Dunkirk, you've got crosswinds there. I mean, Tadej was at the UAE Tour, so he knows how to ride crosswinds. And then the time trials has kind of been sometimes Jonas, sometimes Pogacar. And then we thought last year that the weakness for Pogacar was a lot of climbs after each other, but that he kind of threw that out of the window as well.
Yep, that is the $1 million question, or €1 million question, or Danish krona question.
Danish krona wouldn't be that much, so.
It really looks like that Tadej Pogacar doesn't have a weakness. He not often, rarely does tactical mistakes. He doesn't crash that often. If he crashes, he still seems to be okay after. It's not that he, you know, is out for the race. The team is good. He's good on the mountains. I mean, remember the time trial where Jonas Vingegaard put like, what, a minute or 2 minutes into Pogacar? When Jonas won the Tour de France last time. Jonas was so strong in that time trial. If Jonas can hit these numbers again, then, you know, he might gain time in the TT. Surprise attacks. I remember the last Dauphiné just finishing. Pogacar had an interview. Jonas and the team, they tried to attack over the top of the climb, go aggressive in the downhills. So he felt a little bit isolated. And then he went just attacked. I said, my attack was not to win a stage. It was more self-defense. You know, I felt like I'm a little isolated, and to stop any sort of tactics, I just attacked by myself early. So even there, it's hard to surprise him with an attack. I mean, at the World Championships, he attacks at 100 kilometers to go. Who would have thought? So it is hard. It comes down to brutal strengths. You got to be stronger. You got to be incredibly lucky that he is having a bad day or does a tactical mistake and you can drop him in a crosswinds. Or you just got to be simple and brutally stronger. I don't see smart tactics really helping against Pogacar and his team and his team managers in the car. They observe the race as well. So, you got to be incredibly lucky or incredibly strong to beat Pogacar.
What do you think about the rest of the riders we haven't really talked about other than touching on Florian Lipovic? Remco Evenepoel, for instance, 3rd place last year. You mentioned him. Do you think any of these other team leaders are going to be playing a part of it? Or is it going to be like last year where they kind of have the first row seat to the Vingegaard-Pogacar battle?
Remco wasn't, yes, he was kind of far behind, yes. I mean, he was 3rd, but you can almost say, I mean, with all the respect, the guy is double Olympic champion, you know? Not even Eddie Merckx achieved that. So, but yeah, he was the best of the rest last year's Tour de France. Third in the Tour, which is an incredible achievement, but he was nowhere close to challenge either Vingegaard or Pogacar. And Remco, I believe he is very, very good at one-day classics, 1 week stage races like whatever, Pyrenees, the Dauphiné, or Tour de Suisse maybe. But for the Grand Tours, he still seemed to have one day where things don't work out, or he cracks under the pressure, or he didn't feel good, or the stability seems to be still a weakness for him, if there's a weakness in him. The ability to overcome mental stress as well. I mean, Liège-Bastogne-Liège this year, the team worked for him. He didn't feel good. And then he just stops and finishes, whatever, 35th or 25th, whatever it was. He could have still finished 4 or 5. But he said, nah, I'm cracking, giving up. And then he went easy to the finish line. And then your Grand Tour dreams are over if you have one day like that. Then again, some years ago, he was leading the Vuelta a España, losing the jersey, losing a lot of time, and had a comeback with 2 or 3 more stage wins. So there's like, chapeau. That's a comeback, you know, getting your head kicked in, come back and win 3 more stages. That's a champion. So it's hard to say, but I believe from the 3 superstars, he is the least stable or reliable. He still seems to have this one day where things don't work out or he cracks a little bit. Roglic, I mean, the guy is strong. If he doesn't crash, he's up there, you know? I mean, as I said, he won the Giro Italia. He won the Vuelta 3 or 4 times. So he definitely knows how to race for a great or Grand Tour. He was second in the Tour behind Pogacar when he had this terrible time trial on the second last day. So, yeah, Ben O'Connor would be another one. And I really must say, I like Lenny Martinez. I think he still has more potential to develop than he has shown yet. I believe he still can be better than he already is. So there's another one. And then from that, either the other talents are blocked in with their team, like, you know, Ayuso will be helping Pogacar. Jürgensen will be able or will be forced or told to help Jonas, so he cannot try his own luck. The Giro Italia winner, I don't know if he is ready or willing or even starting the Tour. Simon Yates.
Forgot to mention, yeah, that's another good climber.
I'm not sure if he actually is starting the Tour. Maybe the plan was not to even to start the Tour and go Giro and Vuelta, you know, or if he recovers from the Giro. So there would be, if he starts, there's another interesting name.
I was going to ask you about this as well, before I ask you about your prediction for the Tour. Why have we not had a Tour de France winner from France since Bernard Hinault?
Cycling has the simple answer, and it's a hard and honest answer. Simply because cycling has changed and French cycling has not changed quick enough or drastically enough. There's talent there, but they caught in the old French way of doing things. It's tradition, and it gives you a lot of security and safety. You know always what to expect. There's never be a bad surprise, but there's also not a good surprise. You know, like your sport director, your team leader comes and goes, hey, I did this for 15 years as a pro cyclist. And for the last 20 years as a sport director, I did like this. And we keep doing like this. And then you finish 4 to 10. You cannot win. You got to adapt to modern cycling, or you stay where you are. That is one problem. Another problem is that, if I'm right, only in France, every rider has to be employed, right? So with social security, retirement, pension fund, and all that, health insurance, everything. So in order to sign a rider like Tadej Pogacar for a French team, let's say he wants 5 million on his account, right? In the team he is now, he gets 5 million. If he wants to go to a French team or a French team wants to sign him, they gotta pay 8 million so that he has 5 million on his account because he's employed. So they gotta pay health insurance in percentage of his income, taxes, all that. because he is an employee of the team. So that makes it so much more expensive for French teams to have a bigger name than for countries. They have a different rule or different setup where riders are self-employed or go via image contract, so on. That's another reason why it is super hard and expensive to hold a talented developing rider in a French team or to buy a big rider, because you need to pay so much more on top of it because your social charges are so much higher. But then again, you're from Denmark, you probably know about high social charges and high taxes and all.
Yes. Extremely high taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought you'd be the right person because you've ridden for a French team. Okay, Jens, 2025 Tour de France. What is your prediction for, well, not just the podium, but also, I would say, best sprinters as well, and each of the jerseys?
Oof, each of the jerseys. Okay. Well, everything looks now, it's still going to be Tadej Pogacar, right? I mean, he had a relatively modest time trial in the Dauphiné. I wonder what that was all about. I mean, he still did a good time trial, but for being Tadej Pogacar, the time trial was modest or even average, you have to say. But it's 3 weeks. There's a mountaintop time trial. He got a strong team. He is coming out of a long training period after the one-day classics he did. So now he got this one block of stage racing in his legs. So he's only going to go better. I believe the odds are in favor for him. Second, Jonas again. Probably a lot closer than last year. I don't see Tadej winning 6 stages again in the Tour de France. So Jonas, a lot closer. Third place. I don't know, just wishful thinking. I go Ben O'Connor. I cannot pick the same podium like last year. I mean,
I thought you were going to say Lipovic.
He's still too young. I mean, 3 weeks Tour de France, it's still different, right? And I'm not sure if Roglic is riding or not. So I go Ben O'Connor. I mean, the guy was, second in the World Championships last year? He was strong in the Vuelta a España. So I believe he got a chance for last podium spot.
Who do you think will be the best sprinter as well?
The best sprinter will be Jonathan Milan. He is ready. He is prepared all season long. It was clear for him. No Giro Italia, all for the Tour de France. They want to win stages, not necessarily take the green jersey, but win stages. So I believe he will be not like Mats Pedersen, go in breakaways to pick up points in the middle, survive the medium hard stages and all that. I think it's spectacular sprints or 150ers, right? So the green jersey, probably I still see with Jasper Philipsen, but the best sprinter will be Jonathan Milan.
Tim Merlier doesn't tempt you, or Binyam Girmay?
No. I go, I think it's Philipsen. He's just reliable. He knows how to do it well. Binyam Girmay, he did the green jersey last year, so yes, he knows how that works as well. But with Binyam, I believe everything has to become together really perfectly. Preparation, the racing stages, the team support. That doesn't happen every year. And Jasper Philipsen and his team, they know how to work it. So I believe he is the man for the green jersey. The white jersey, is Jonas still able to get it? No. Then I guess it's Ayuso.
I'm not sure Ayuso is going.
He's maybe not in the Tour?
No.
Oh, wow. Well, then, it's not the Tour de France. Then I believe Ayuso might be in a different team next year. I see a little bit of unrest and unhappiness there. And you see, one bad apple ruins the whole basket of it. So if a rider is not happy and he is just negative and wants to go, even though there's $1 million contract or whatever, $2 million contract, find a way that the new team pays half of it, or you just write some of the money off as a team. Or the rider goes, you know what? I ripped the contract. You keep your money. I just need to go somewhere else. But again, it's my private speculation. I have no clue, no really information about it, but it's just how I feel after the Giro Italia, that Ayuso realizes, okay, I will never be able to catch Pogacar. And I'm not even second anymore because now Isaac Del Toro passed me. So I'm third in my own team, but he could be the king in any other team, right? So I could see people, or I could see him.
Oh, who's your white jersey?
Well, then I would need a look at the potential start list there.
You've got Remco, Lenny Martinez, Lipovic.
Well, then let's go for Lipovic for that one. Yep, Lipovic.
Polka dot jersey, Carapaz winning last year.
Yeah. Oh, we haven't talked about Team Ineos Grenadiers. I don't see them really being a contender for a podium. But if Bernal wants, he could go on breakaways and take the polka dot jersey. But I'm not sure if that is what he wants, or if he prefers to finish somewhat 4 to 6 in the overall. I guess he will rather go for the overall. Carapaz was good in the Giro. The Tour, nah, I don't think that suits him that well. So yeah, let's give it back. Let's give it again to Carapaz. Romain Bardet is not there anymore. Yeah. So I guess Carapaz, it's a good option. Team competition, Team UAE, because Pogacar is going to be winning. He's going to have his lieutenants finishing 8 and 9 or whatever. So I believe he's going to take, or the team going to secure the team's competition. The Mont Ventoux stage, big battle between the GC riders. I would say, because it's an easy stage, the team of the leader, which I believe will be Pogacar, can easily control it. And Pogacar might try to win it. Or we see a generous present from Pogacar to Jonas and go, you know what, Jonas, take that stage. I'm already 2 minutes ahead and I don't need 10 seconds bonus. Maybe we see that, but otherwise I go probably Pogacar.
What about the final stage, since the Saka climb is in there? What do you think will happen there?
If there's no crash in the run into that climb or on that climb where people have to get off their bike and they lose time really quickly, right? Because if you stand still and they're still moving in the first group, you lose so much time. If that doesn't happen, which I don't hope, nobody deserves to lose the race on the last day because of a crash or spectator waving the flag into your front wheel, right? Nobody deserves to lose a race after 3 weeks of hard work. I believe it's one of the classics riders, Mathieu van der Poel, gonna get away and take it.
I would love to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a very good predictions there.
Or Wout van Aert. If Jonas goes, you know what, I'm 2 minutes behind Pogacar, I cannot make it, Wout, you go. But yeah, I think one of these two guys got the best chances there. It's not hard enough for the GC riders, but it's too hard for the sprinters. So it's got to be one of these classic type riders.
Yeah, I think that's also a very good place to finish as well. Jens, I really want to thank you for your time once again. Of course, if you want to see more of Jens, he's got his own podcast with Bobby Julich, the Odd Tandem, and I'm sure we'll see Jens here again. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one, and hopefully we'll have Jens back soon as well.
Thanks for having me, and yeah, thanks for listening to all the viewers and listeners. Thanks for listening.